In this video, we will explore React Fragments, a feature in React that helps in avoiding unnecessary wrapper divs in your components. React Fragments are useful when you want to group a list of children without adding extra nodes to the document object model, or DOM. Let's understand the problem that React Fragment solves. In React, a component must return a single parent element. This can lead to the habit of adding unnecessary wrapper divs just to satisfy this requirement. Look at the code example. The user card function returns a div that wraps the heading level 2 and paragraph elements. This extra div is often unnecessary and only exists to comply with React's single parent element rule. Using unnecessary wrapper div elements can lead to several issues with the document object model, or DOM. First, it creates extra document object model nodes, making the document object model more complex and harder to manage. Second, it can cause cascading style sheets, or CSS layout problems, especially when using frameworks that rely on a specific document object model structure. Third, it introduces a slight performance overhead because the browser has to process more elements. And fourth, it can violate Semantic Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, principles by adding div elements that don't add any semantic value. As you can see in the rendered document object model example, the extra wrapper div elements clutter the document object model and make it less clean and efficient. React Fragment is a component that lets you group elements without introducing additional nodes to the document object model, or DOM. It solves the problem of needing a wrapper element without the drawbacks of using a div. As you can see in the code example, the React Fragment component wraps the heading level 2 and paragraph elements. This allows the user card component to return multiple children without adding an extra div to the document object model. There are two ways to use React Fragments. The first way is the full syntax using React Fragment. You need to import React from React to use this syntax. The second way is the short syntax using empty angle brackets. This shorthand syntax is cleaner and easier to read. Both syntaxes achieve the same result, grouping elements without adding extra nodes to the document object model, or DOM. React Fragments are useful in several common scenarios. First, when returning multiple elements from a component. Second, when structuring table rows and cells. Third, when rendering list items. And fourth, when you want to avoid cascading style sheets or CSS layout issues caused by extra div elements. As you can see in the table example, React Fragment is used to wrap multiple table row elements. This ensures that the table structure remains clean and semantically correct without introducing extra div elements. When rendering lists of items, React requires each item to have a unique key property. The short syntax for React Fragments does not support adding keys. In such cases, you must use the full React Fragment syntax to provide the necessary keys. As shown in the code example, the React Fragment component is used with a key attribute set to item.identifier. This ensures that each fragment has a unique key, which helps React efficiently update the document object model, or DOM, when the list changes. Using React Fragments provides several key benefits. First, it leads to a cleaner document object model, or DOM structure. Second, it results in better performance due to fewer elements for the browser to process. Third, it promotes Semantic Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML, by avoiding unnecessary div elements. Fourth, it makes cascading style sheets, or CSS, styling easier without layout issues caused by extra div elements. And fifth, it eliminates the need for wrapper div elements, making your code cleaner and more maintainable. React Fragment solves the JSX limitation by grouping elements without adding extra document object model nodes. Happy coding! If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.